Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Some government employees are seeing even more negative impact from COVID-19. Also tonight, burglaries have DPS officials on the search for suspects. And one elementary school is getting what you could call a makeover. In sports, there was an explosion in Marpi. It's called Motocross. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
A meal replacement smoothie is a great way to keep your fitness goals on track during the holiday season, and they taste great, fast, and easy. The December smoothie of the month is Minty Java Chocolate Chip, and it's just $5. Check out the Shake Cafe, Gold's Gym, Garapan.
Our new McDonald's Spicy Chicken McNuggets are just the right amount of spicy. A small to medium Sprite kind of spicy. Let's get a McFlurry after this kind of spicy. But if you get the mighty hot sauce, it's a napkins for foreheads now kind of spicy. This came from McDonald's kind of spicy. Because our Spicy Chicken McNuggets, breaded in tempura and made with cayenne, are just the right amount of spicy. Unless you remember what I said about the sauce. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to Ruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. Governor Torres has informed Senate President Jude Hofschneider and House Speaker Edmund Villagomez of the initiation to let go of some government employees due to the continued economic impact from the COVID-19 pandemic. It's the initiation of Reduction in Force Procedures, RIF. Back in 2020, when the coronavirus affected tourism in the Sinai, the fiscal year budget was reduced by 48%. This resulted in 516 government employees getting laid off, with 269 of that number being furloughed civil service employees. Through funding from the CARES Act, 89 of these civil service employees that were furloughed were placed into federally funded positions, but that still left 180 government employees on the furlough list. We are now into fiscal year 2021 budget, and with no tourism still, the budget does not provide sufficient funds to recall those employees, as it will cost over $5 million to do so.
In order for us to be able to bring them back into the government, we would need $5.7 million to take them out of the RIF and then be able to bring them back on 64 hours. Unfortunately, we don't have $5.7 million in local revenue to be able to sustain that employment and that service.
Not having the funding to bring the employees back enacts government personnel regulations under the Northern Mariana Islands Administrative Code, which states that furloughs may be used for more than 30 days as long as there is assurance the employees will be able to return within 12 months. But if they are unable to bring the employees back, the authorities at hand must separate those furloughed from the company, terminating the excess employees. And today marks 1 year.
So the NMIAC contains the personnel regulations. regulations, there is a specific structure and process that the personnel officer and OPM have to do with the department heads to make sure that this process is done right, that the RIF is done according to the regulations and the statutes, as well as dealing with the civil service employees and the accepted employees who obviously have questions about the process.
A 60-day notice must be given to these employees as part of the NMIAC, which starts today.
The governor and lieutenant governor consults with the Civil Service Commission, the Office of Personnel Management, the AG's office, and the cabinet, the executive department, especially with the ones with the furloughed employees. And then we continue to also work with the Department of Finance to analyze the ongoing fiscal impact of tourism, as well as the rest of the projections for both the current first quarter as well as for the rest of the fiscal year. And then they made a difficult decision to initiate the RIF. Today is with the RIF now being initiated, today is the beginning of the 60-day notice to civil service employees to formally let them know that the RIF will be effective in 60 days.
The RIF goes into effect April 10th, which marks the 60 days. Severance pay will be given to these individuals, which will be based on the amount of years the individual worked for the government. Bautista says the government is still getting guidance on if these individuals that will be terminated can avail of PUA benefits. The Department of Public Safety is searching for 2 males involved in a robbery that took place in Susupe. On Tuesday, February 9th, around 4:20 a.m., officers were called to Texas Road in Susupe, where a female reported she had just been robbed. At the scene, officers noticed paper receipts and a roll of quarters scattered on the parking lot ground. The victim told police that she collected cash from her businesses and was securing it in her vehicle before going up to her apartment when 2 males came up and grabbed her purse before fleeing. Items in the purse reported by the victim include a cell phone, wallet, and $6,500 in cash. DPS states if you have any information on the whereabouts of the stolen items, call 911. Officers from DPS are also seeking any information on a suspect involved in a burglary and theft incident at WSR Elementary School in Chalankanoa. Take a look at this video. As you can see, an individual that appears to be a male is walking with what looks to be a backpack through the campus of the school and is wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and covering the face with a piece of cloth. A release from the Department of Public Safety says officers received a call on Friday, February 8th, around 8 a.m., where a staff member of WSR who was reviewing the surveillance cameras noticed an unknown individual on the camera recording. But the timestamp of the video showed the incident occurred on February 6th, around 2:29 a.m. DPS states further investigation revealed the suspect broke into a classroom that is connected to a second classroom where several flat-screen televisions with remote controls were missing, as well as a school projector and a Bose brand speaker. If you have any information on the burglary that took place at WSR or the individual in the recording, call 911. If you would like to remain anonymous, contact the CNMI Crime Stoppers at 234-7272. And the burglaries continue. DPS Press Secretary Adrian Pangilinan says 2 generators were stolen from Saipan International School this same weekend as the burglary that occurred at WSR. The 2 generators were described as Duramax. One is blue and black, and the other is yellow and green. On a more positive note at WSR, the elementary school is getting a makeover, a little bit of artwork that promotes a prominent figure in American history with what he stood for. Equal Access to Literacy, a mural project created by the AmeriCorps members here in the CNMI.
Martin Luther King Jr. Is known for wanting equal rights for all people, and one of those rights is the right to literacy, to be able to read. And so actually AmeriCorps, their function is a volunteer, is a service, high school students volunteering to help those that are struggling, those kids struggling in elementary school and middle school in reading.
The mural is split up into different parts, where 27 volunteers from MHS, Saipan Southern, the CK community, and students from WSR helped create artwork that focuses on equal rights and literacy. Those living on certain areas of Saipan will be experiencing a water interruption that starts tomorrow. Officials from the Commonwealth Utilities Corporation state Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Customers in the areas of Upper and Lower Navy Hill, Upper Mihal Housing, and Chinatown will have no water. The interruption is due to a 6-inch transmission water line leak. Customers in Chalan Galati and Asflapi will start to receive water Friday, February 12th to allow time for the Calhoun water tanks to fill up. Coming up, more history is donated to the Historic Preservation Office in the CNMI. Find out more after the break.
Winigi Pechay Pharmacy in Gofadahi, Ihinim Lomu.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Ngere ayor sumaye uhalweres ren, kutsu wayor safeye emal ebalisyu klalyamweres.
Inumin ng inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong pharmaceutical.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
KHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. KHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. A special donation has been made to the CNMI Historic Preservation Office, adding to the history of the CNMI. Take a listen. It's been almost 84 years. One of the greatest mysteries of all time has still not been solved. Did Amelia Earhart die when her plane allegedly crashed into the Pacific in July of 1937? Or did something else happen that brought her to our small island? It's questions that remained, but individuals' accounts of information and speculations have been published into books, giving some pretty promising knowledge to these questions. And that is now being passed to the Historic Preservation Office at the Springs Plaza in Gualarai.
This is a valuable history that are going to be archived here in the historical preservation, and this is for anybody that would like to know about the story of Saipan in 1937.
7 books that focus on Amelia Earhart's history and journey were donated, where employees plan to read and research if the information can be physically proven to be true.
Whereas the Board of Directors of Amelia Earhart Memorial Monument Incorporated has approved to donate 7 books to be archived at the Historic Preservation as follows. 1. The Truth at Last by Mike Campbell. 2. The Search for Amelia Earhart by Fred Gerner. 3. Amelia Earhart, The Final Story by Vincent Loomis with Jeffrey Etto. 4. Eyewitness, The Amelia Earhart Incident by Thomas E. Devine with Richard M. Daly. Daughter of the Sky, The Story of Amelia Earhart by Paul L. Bryan Jr. 6. Without a Penny in My Pocket, My Bittersweet Memories Before and After World War II by Marie S. Castro. My Life and Amelia Earhart's Saipan Legacy by Marie S. Castro with Mike Campbell.
Castro says she hopes these books will give insight to anyone questioning Earhart's story in 1937 on Saipan. On Guam, public health officials are seeing a shortage in the COVID-19 vaccines. KUAM reports.
Hafide Sinamay, I'm Peter Santos. Here's what's making news on Guam. While vaccines sit on shelves or go to waste across the country, we're looking at a different problem here. Public Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Felix Cabrera says the problem is we aren't getting enough. Here's more on the race to vaccinate to accomplish herd immunity by Liberation Day.
Since the first dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccine was administered on island, we've heard a lot about herd immunity. The goal being to get enough people immunized so the virus will subside with the lack of susceptible hosts. In the early stages of public health's vaccination efforts, it was projected that the island could possibly reach herd immunity by summer of this year. But now it's looking like that timeline might be pushed back quite a bit. DPHSS Chief Medical Officer Dr. Felix Cabrera.
At our current rate, we'll be lucky to if we're not being allocated any more than we currently are, we'll be lucky to reach it by the end of the year.
According to Cabrera, it's an issue of supply and demand.
We are not going to make it to July with our current allocation. And that, again, was the statement about the federal government being the rate limiting step, not us. And so for us to achieve it, they have to step forward and they have to come up and give it to us. And that's why we're trying to make the strong argument that we're not like these other states where there's vaccines sitting on the shelf and just not getting into arms. We are putting them into arms, so give them to us. And let's have the United States have a big win with the Mariana Islands, and where we're actually going to achieve herd immunity before any other jurisdiction.
Cabrera says that Governor Lou Leon Guerrero is currently in talks with General Perna of Operation Warp Speed for an additional 40,000 doses of the vaccine a month. And he's crossing his fingers because with the way things are going,
the allocation rate we're getting right now, we will get approximately 136,000 vaccines.
Okay.
And then that's only 68,000 persons we could fully vaccinate.
Public Health's Annette Uggins says they're hoping to add to their list of COVID vaccines to help make up for our current allocation numbers.
We're hoping with the addition of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that will add more doses made available to all the jurisdictions. So, that's something that we can hope for.
While both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines boast a 95% efficacy rate and are administered in a 2-dose series, it is something to note that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only a single dose, currently holds an efficacy rate of 66%. Last week, the company filed for emergency use authorization and is currently under review by the U.S. FDA.
Stay informed 24/7 with KUAM.com.
Thank you. All right, coming up, girls beach volleyball is set to go to the next level. We've got Next Level Sports next.
Buenos dias, Kiko. Kaigizu ginigi introda ni Pacific Docomo. Bang golf adjudanti isti I Docomo staff gwini. Zambang golf maulik exhibition niya. Undang kulu na si Jus maasi. Niu na judadzidu after manu para be download za babin na sepi isti I ski lino app. Esta ana libro nuju isti za parafa di babi fifila ni para be panapasi za pat babi take off ni si doctor. Docomo Pacific, ingway zaha, pago, za ni mamayla na tempo. Si Jus maasi.
Buy one, get one free for the off-road adventure at Mariana's Trekking. Come ride our side-by-sides at our best price ever and experience a great 90-minute trail ride. Rain or shine, hopefully rain. Book now at Mariana's Trekking, Saturdays and Sundays by reservation. Call 323-8735 or book at marianastrekking.com.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Ghost Gym, and today I want to go over some exercises that you can easily apply into your current exercise program. Now I have here with me Vince, and he's going to be demoing some of those exercises. Now the first one today is going to be a one-arm dumbbell row. Before I have Vince here execute a few reps, what we want to remember with virtually any exercise is your setup. If you start in a bad position, it's not going to look good, and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common mistake with here is obviously a rounded upper back, and as you can see, he's not very rigid or stable. So what we're gonna do is correct that just a little bit. So his supporting arm and his leg that's supported on the bench as well we wanna lock that in. Open up that leg a little bit to allow for a better path on that dumbbell. With the elbows coming up way too high, you can see the shoulders riding forward, and that's not what we want. So ideally, what you wanna think about is pulling with your elbows and stopping right at the midline of your body. So in this position right here, you can feel his entire upper back along with his core.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live. Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the Mariana's Racing Association is racing forward full speed ahead for its 2021 championship season. I mean, no time to put on the brakes, no time to slow down. Cowtown, it's the new racing capital of the CNMI. For the next 6 months, riders will compete in races that lead up to the championship. Vet motocross rider Kuki Alvarez gives us the scoop on the schedule.
Our official points season consists of 7 rounds. So we officially started on January 24th. That was our first round. Round 2 is going to take place on February 28th, and then every last Sunday of the month until July. So racers are vying for points for the top 3 positions. Dirt on my nose. And the riders who come up with the most points at the end of the season wins the Covenant #1 place in each class.
That's 8 classes ranging all the way from Pee-wees to the vets. Saipan went 14 years without a championship season. Now it's back bigger than ever.
How many riders? Gosh, we have around 100 and some people on our chat, and more than half of those are riders.
I didn't know there were this many dirt bikes on the island. Did you?
When we first started to get it back to fruition, there was just a couple of bikes here and there, and then slowly when we got the word out and everybody knew that we were going to get back Cowtown, people just slowly started getting their own bikes, and we started having practice runs, and then now we are full-fledged into our race season.
Parents are splurging on these children. These bikes can cost thousands of dollars.
I think the parents are just so for the fact that the kids are not staying home and just wasting their energy on video games. You know, this is a real life video game, and what better way to go than to be on the great outdoors and learn how to become athletes. These children are going to become full-fledged athletes, Bob.
How long have you been riding motorcycles? All your life?
Five Sundays.
5 Sundays already?
5 Sundays.
She's been 5 Sundays. How old is she?
I think 4.
Does that make her a veteran?
No. I've been riding. This is the first time I've been riding with full gear.
How does it feel?
Sweaty.
Hot.
Heavy.
Are you glad that you finished and you're all safe? Another young rider, Eric Cruz, whose grandfather designed and built the original Cowtown track almost 20 years ago.
How does that feel knowing that your grandfather designed this course?
Feels cool. Feels like I'm well known around this place.
Did you know he also designed it back in 2005 or 6?
No, I didn't
Okay,
know.
well, you know it now. All right, now tell me how long you've been riding.
Been riding for maybe 3 months.
And tell me about your bike.
This is a KLX 85. I got on this maybe a month ago.
You use your own money to buy it?
No, this is my grandpa's.
Eric is competing in the Mini 2s class. Last week he had to race in front of a huge crowd.
Yeah, how'd you feel when you were out there racing knowing there were so many people watching?
Felt nervous because my first time seeing a lot of people because I only see maybe a couple of 15, 10s. That's about it. But when there's a lot of people, I get nervous. I tend to mess up sometimes.
Makes it more exciting too, right?
Yeah.
All right, way to go, man. Cookie's daughter, Shania, she's stoked at the opportunity. How was it today?
It was fun, man. I just got here actually, so I just practiced and I had to get in the groove again, you know.
When are you ready for the big race?
I hope I'm ready because I want to freaking just jam in the next race, which is on February 28th, Sunday.
And already these new riders are picking up skills.
Most of them, from when they first started, have improved by leaps and bounds. It's amazing what a few months can do to a kid's skill set once they start practicing and given a place to practice, like Cowtown with all these hills and berms and jumps. Man, the kids are just, that's why we're having our race season sooner than later, because these kids are ready to race.
After 2 weeks of competition, the contenders are separating from the pretenders. For this story, we go to the beach. Always a good idea. 2 Saturday mornings at Fiesta Beach, 10 teams battled for seating rights for the big tournament coming up February 19th and 20th. No team ever beat MHS 1. 9 times they played, and 9 times the Dolphins won. GCA 2 finished right behind them at 8-2. SIS 1 and GCA 1 round out the top 4 that get byes.
There you go. Pick it up, pick it up.
Rhoda and Tinian High Schools will be joining the tournament as the 5th and 6th seeds. And then it's MHS 2, MCS 2, SIS 2, MHS 3 and 4, followed by MCS 2.
That's it. Good job.
The format, double elimination. This is the league's inaugural season organized by the public school system with the assistance of the NMI Volleyball Association.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com. Hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HAFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online at marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735. You have the flexibility to work out between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. At Gold's Gym, we call this off-peak, and it can save you money. Short-term daytime memberships on sale now, just $59 per month, and gets you access to the biggest and cleanest fitness center on island. Get yourself healthy and strong. Check out Gold's Gym today.
Today's high 87, low 75. Humidity 70%. Tomorrow partly cloudy, isolated showers, east winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. High 86, low 77, seas 5 to 7 feet. Sunrise 6:43, followed by a high tide at 8:35, and then a low tide at 1:58. Sunset at 6:19. That is your midweek edition of the news, sports, and weather. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you back here on Friday evening.